Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about the 12 best shmups on the Famicom, which is the original Nintendo. Here at number 12 we have Super Tank, which is a game that never left Japan. That's right, you're playing as a hero in a battle tank. Kind of similar to the 1942 series, except you're playing as a battle tank. That's right. This may remind you folks of guerrilla warfare. Okay, you just saw a few enemy soldiers there, so you don't need to worry about the soldiers. You can run them over. And notice you have a little laser there. You can move in all directions. So that's on. Okay, moving on to number 11 for now. Here at number 11, we have Docs by 1989 by Natsume. Yes, this may feel like a sci-fi shooter, where you play as an astronaut. That's right, you'll be fighting aliens. Or some guy in the spacesuit. The way how you're holding a gun does... Well, actually, I know Halo came out many years later, but it almost feels like how Halo started it all, due to the inspiration of Docs. Okay, it's just like a shoot 'em up. Okay, yeah, here are the aliens, so that's all I can... Okay, next up we have Alpha Mission. Since I know most of you know number 2, but this is the first one on the original Nintendo. I know it plays a lot like Star Force, which was also on Nintendo and Super Nintendo and the Sega SG-1000. So yeah, the E gives you energy, and I know the L has to stand for laser. That's all I have to cover. It's just your regular vertical shmup that SNK also published, since you just saw me film Big Tank a moment ago. Okay, moving on to number 9. Okay, The Last Starfighter, which might be based off the movie, even though it is a little bit different than the movie. You're playing as a spaceship. Yes, I know it doesn't look like the movie it's based off of, which is The Last Starfighter that Universal did. Yes, it's just another shmup where you just fight the evil alien empire again. Since I do know it almost plays like a Commodore 64 game that almost seems similar to one of the Commodore 64 games that I have never heard of due to you shooting stuff. Okay, here we have Twin Eagle by 1989. Not to be confused with Twin Eagle Joe Revenge of Joe by Roamstar. Since I do know it plays a lot like Fire Mustang, even though it came out before Fire Mustang that was on the Sega Genesis. That's right, it makes you feel like you're in World War II. Here at number 7, we have Argus by Jellicoe, which is probably based off the arcade game, but the Nintendo has very good music. That's right. Okay, looking at the vertical shooter, it almost reminds me of Sky Soldiers or Bermuda Triangle. The way how the screen does, and yes, it almost plays like Xevious. Not much for me to say about it, it's just another great vertical shoot-'em up. So give this a shot. Okay, here's Defender 2 at number 6 spot. It plays just like the original Defender, but I think Defender 2 on Nintendo is one of the greatest games. Because I like the color of the ship because it's blue. That's right, it's just your horizontal shooter where you fight the alien empire. Because if they take away all the humans, you might lose a life, or if you get rammed into a spaceship. So yeah, you're just shooting a laser. Okay, next up we have Sky Shark, since I can see it's a lot different than its arcade counterpart by Toa Plan. But I like the Nintendo version since it's way better, since it has a good soundtrack. That's right, completely different, since there is an airplane called the McDouglas Sky Shark. So you just play as an airplane. Alright, let me just show you a little bit of the demonstration gameplay. Sorry you won't be able to see a bunch of it, okay? I'm just gonna give you a little demonstration. It's just a vertical shmup, so not much for me to say, even though it makes you feel like you're in World War II, since I like the background. Okay, next up we have Exceed X, or many of you know as Savage Beasts, by Capcom, since I know it's a little different than its arcade counterpart, which feels like Capcom's ZVS copycat. That's right, you're just shooting enemies and collecting fruit. The only minor difference is no enemies are protecting the boss, not like in the arcade version. So yeah, you just fire the cosmic monsters, which are alien bugs. Okay, next up, we have a hidden game by Taito called Tetra Starfighter. Due to its 3D, it almost makes you feel like you're in Afterburner by Sega, except you're playing as a spaceship that's killing, you guessed it, more aliens. I know it almost plays like Gaiaris, except you're not moving around the screen in circles. You're just going from left to right. Because looking at this spaceship almost reminds me of the movie Transformers ship, since it almost looks like Megatron's ship. Almost. That's right, just try not to get hit. Not much for me to say here, it's just a great 3D shoot-em-up, so give this a chance, if you're up for the challenge. Okay, this is Twin Eagle Revenge of Joe's Brother that I just talked about. Yes, unlike the arcade, this version is a little bit different than the arcade version. So instead of just being set on land, for example in stage 1, which I'm gonna show you in just a second. That's right, you're set to a sea. Yes, you're playing as a helicopter shoot-em-up, just shooting down jet planes and battleships. So moving on to the top number 1 Nintendo shoot-em-up. And here at number 1 we have Twin Cobra, a Toa Plant shooter, since I know Sammy published the Nintendo version. Yes, that's right. Like Twin Eagle, Revenge of Joe's Brother, you're playing as a helicopter that's shooting enemies. You'll be fighting battleships, just like in Twin Eagle. I know in Japan it's called Kyoko Tiger, but Twin Cobra seems pretty good. I know it was later published by the Sega Genesis. That's right, you have bombs, you have different power-ups, from a green laser all the way to the blue-white shot. So this is the number 1 best game on Nintendo, since it's my opinion. Unlike the Sega Genesis version where you just get killed and then get pushed back a little, the Nintendo version, you'll just keep going. Okay, that's all I have to say about it, so thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Sega20X signing off.